on board. Step in, watch the door. Sit tight, let's explore. Get ready to take flight. Get with this cosmic trip. Mother Earth is a mothership. Better know when it's time to dip. She's heading out tonight. Gotta give, gotta live, gotta care, gotta teach, gotta reach, gotta learn, gotta love. No more time to be blind to the signs. Use your mind to remind you. From the streets to the stars to the sun and the moon. When it's time, gotta be in tune. 'Cause the ship is taking off soon.
Don't miss the flight, just get on board. Space highway fly when we see you. Don't miss the flight. Don't miss the flight.
'Cause the ship is taking off soon. Wake up, human race. Ain't got no time to waste. Turn on your inner space. We're headed towards the light. Get serious like the star. Where you going, don't need no car. It's not far, it's in your heart. You can make it if you try. Gotta love, gotta live, gotta give and receive. Gotta flow with the G, gotta breathe. Be aware of the signs of the times. Use your mind to align you. From the streets to the stars to the sun and the moon. This time gotta be in tune. 'Cause the ship is taking off soon.
Don't miss the flight, just get on board. Space highway fly when we see you. Don't miss the flight. Keep your head to the sky. Don't miss the flight. One day to the earth.
'Cause the ship is taking off soon.
These are the days we gon' sing about. Space high we fly when we see you. Mountain tops roar from the lion smoke. Sit high we rise when we chant it. The negative icons where they come. Look up, can you see her? The mothership comes from all around. Don't miss the flight. Don't miss the flight, just get on board. Space high we fly when we see you. Don't miss the flight. Don't miss the flight. Don't miss the flight.
From the streets to the stars to the sun and the moon. When it's time, gotta be in tune. 'Cause the ship is taking off now.
Greetings in Lakesh to everybody out here on the planet tuning in. Welcome to The Movement, New Earth, New Time, presented by Planet Restoration, PR 1328, Heal Humanity, and the Harmonic Factor. My name is Makua Ray. It's truly an honor to hold space together with you on this sacred occasion. So I want to send a special shout out to anybody out there that's been tuning in with us across our various platforms. From Harmonic Convergence 2028 page on Facebook, our Planet Restoration page on Facebook as well, the fantastic Heal Humanity group operated by Manifest Ra, and all of our many relatives out here tapping in and tuning in. We wanted to come to you with this broadcast as a way to really create sacred space and infuse a sense of creativity and purpose into the culture, and to really actually venerate, uplift, highlight, celebrate the creatives and the solutionaries from across our many interweaving communities. As we all are probably coming to realize, we're more connected than we are disconnected when we actually pay attention. So that's one of the things we want to celebrate here through the movement, as we have since, as you can see in the lower third, art, culture, and community since 1997. So this takes you back a little bit back in the day, we can say, before the turn of the new millennium. back to the streets of U Street, Washington, D.C., Black Broadway, the cultural arts movement of the late 90s, where I had the honor of helping steward a weekly event at a place called Bar None, called The Movement. And one of the intentions there was to actually help shift consciousness using the arts as a method to shift and awaken consciousness. Now, obviously, all of us find ourselves on this ever evolving, awakening, emerging path in life, one way or the other. As they say, you choose your change or your change will choose you. But for many, many years, I've been part of a proactive effort to literally shift consciousness. And I'm not alone, even though it happens to be me currently on the broadcast coming to you live. We are excited to showcase some of the amazing initiatives that we're able to get behind and support that are happening right now. We're bringing everything full forward, full future. So we're going to highlight some of that today. We're also going to take a look at some retro clips from the movement experience, both from Washington, D.C. We have a very brief clip of that. We'll get more content in the future. But then we also have a great feature clip from a space in Atlanta called Othello. And this must have been around 2009 when we were producing an iteration of the movement, art, culture, and community in Atlanta at a venue called Othello. And our good brother Taj Abdul Samad, a.k.a. Purple Crown, has a fantastic performance that we'll get into a little bit later today as well in the broadcast. Many of you who have been tuning in with my work and the work of Planet Restoration, as well as Harmonic Convergence 2028, and my good collaborator, dear brother Ruben Ginas, with his time tracking work there since 2013, would be familiar then with the theme that we like to present. We consider it a solutionary perspective, and that being changing your calendar, changing it from the Gregorian calendar, the desynchronous artificial timing frequency that we all in one way or another have been subjected to, and actually making the creative choice, the regenerative choice, to tune our consciousness to a timing frequency that is actually mathematically, biologically, astronomically, and energetically correct, and tending toward harmony. The Gregorian calendar, by its very nature, and time as a third dimensional concept by its very nature, tend toward something called entropy, which is gradual decay. Now, we can obviously see that as we look out into the world and get a real purview of the variables that we're observing and witnessing, even in many cases participating in. And we recognize that this is exemplifying decay, destabilization. In other words, the old way of doing things has run its course. In fact, it's run its course over a decade ago. And so what we're now seeing are the last legs of a dying culture, a cultural concept that was never actually a match for harmony and for the healing of humanity. So one of the things we do emphasize through all of our platforms is to make a conscious decision to shift your timing frequency from the 12-month desynchronous calendar to the 13-month, 28-day harmonic frequency. It's referred to also as the harmonic standard. So in alignment with that, I want to open the space today by sharing a beautiful invocation from a fantastic natural time tool that you can find at the website lawoftime.org. And this is produced by Ken in Japan. And it's a beautiful day planner. As you can see, it's a really exquisite day planner that features all the codes and factors of the 13 moon calendar, the natural time frequency. And in the very back is a special entry with, as you can also see, the 7 galactic directions, the prayer of the 7 galactic directions. So I'm going to go ahead and invoke that now so we open this space in a good way. And after that, we're going to bring on our dear brother Manifest Ra, who's going to join the conversation. As I said before, he is the one stewarding Heal Humanity, the Facebook group, and many other amazing components that are coming into alignment with Heal Humanity. So with this said, thank you again for tuning in from wherever you are around the planet. We're so grateful you're here in this space and absolutely grateful for your presence on the planet. Prayer of the 7 galactic directions. From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Hunabku Eva Maya e Maho. Ayum Hunabku Eva Maya e Maho. Ayum Hunabku Eva Maya e Maho. Thank you, everybody. It's always nice when we can take a pause for the cause. Whatever your cause may be, certainly take time and just tap in so you can bring that which is within to the external. Bring it out for the world as you radiate that energy and that essence. In keeping with just a consciousness around natural time, before we bring on our guest, I wanted to tap in with everybody and share a perspective into the current moon so that we can all observe this together and get a sense for where we are in the natural timing of things. And so with that, you're seeing on your screen now month 7. Month 7 in the 13 moon calendar is a very, very auspicious month. As you can see on the basis of the calendar presentation here, the first day of this month is aligned to day 10 of the Gregorian year. So you can see January 10th is in the first cell of month 7. So this gives you a sense of the timing and how these calendars coordinate with each other. And basically what you're looking at is a perpetual calendar in the 13 moon calendar. In other words, every January 10th will coincide with day 1 of moon 7 or month 7. That will always be the case. So as you learn to utilize the tool, the solution that is the 13-month calendar, 13 moon calendar, you begin to get a better comprehension of synchronicity on the basis of number. You'll also notice in every cell of the 28-day calendar here that the upper right-hand corner features a digit. In this case, we know, let's look, for example, on day 19. In the upper right-hand corner of day 19, you see a number called 255. Now, what that is doing is that is expressing the kin number for the day. Everybody born has a correlated kin number, okay? And this can be considered your birth frequency. In other words, it's the frequency that connects to the gestation period that you were born from. I know that's a lot of words, it's a mouthful, but just understand the kin numbers operate at a frequency of 260. There are 260 kin numbers. Now, for a moment, imagine that that's distributed across all of humanity, right? So every human being born has a kin number. Now, anybody born today, okay, will bear the kin number 255. And I'll share with you briefly the code for 255. I encourage you have an iPhone that you go to your apps store, your iPhone store, and you look up an app called 1320 Sync. 1320 Sync. The app looks a little bit like this, if you can see it on the screen. But it does provide a beautiful readout of the day-to-day frequency or the codes in the 13 moon calendar for today. And today happens to be, as we said, kin 255, Blue Galactic Eagle. And the frequency or the mission or the purpose statement for today reads, I harmonize in order to create. Modeling mind. I seal the output of vision with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of self-generation. And so by uttering that out loud, by knowing the code of today, and then also probably more importantly, knowing your own personal code, you can begin to tap in and identify the divine timing or the synchronicity that you are already coded to. Again, everybody has a code according to their date of birth. And so with the movement platform, with PR 1328, and all of these various platforms, we endeavor to share people, or share with people rather, the knowledge of the 13 moons. Because I personally, for over 20 years have found it to be a tremendous tool for keeping my own consciousness and frequency in alignment with Earth, as Earth is healing and transforming and emerging. There's so much happening, and yet we want to be able to tap in with that in an increasing way. And so we want to thank everybody who has liked and followed us on Planet Restoration page on Facebook. We encourage you to do that if you haven't already. Also, tap into our YouTube channel. We're streaming live from there today, but tap in live on our YouTube channel, and you can go ahead and like and subscribe there as well. It will be fantastic to be able to connect with you in that format, that platform. And you can also find us on Facebook at Harmonic Convergence 2028. Harmonic Convergence 2028. That's one of our partner platforms where we're sharing this knowledge and information, inspiration with folks out there. Let me go ahead and see if I can tap in and bring Brother Bilal. I see he's in the studio. Let's bring him into the conversation. And so grateful to tap in with everybody out here who is here on location in this situation. Yes. Make sure we're unmuted. Wow.
Family.
Loving the purple.
Oh, yeah, I'm out here in the purple, huh?
Purple. Holding it down. Bless it up. Now, where are you? Where are you tapping in from? You look like you're in a beautiful, serene location.
Yes, I am. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm forward. I am at the Oyun Botanical Gardens.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Right here in the West End area.
Okay. West Side, Atlanta.
Yes, Atlanta, Georgia. And as you see here at the bottom, at Oyun Botanical Gardens on Instagram.
Okay.
You can follow them, check them out.
Yeah, hold that up to the phone real quick. Let me see if I can get that on my QR code here real quick. Just see if this will work. So I can go ahead and tap in on what they're up to. Yeah, opening Chrome. Look at that. But yeah, we'll put a link up there too so we can share with folks. I see they took us to their link tree here. We'll be happy to share that out there with folks.
Yeah, and there's a shop inside, has all the goods. You got your candles, your sages, there's crystals, everything you need to be spiritually protected in these days. They soaps, amazing natural local salad dressings. The kale dressing they have is amazing. It's like my favorite dressing.
Okay.
All natural ingredients. There's so many goods,
That sounds
they got
amazing.
The frankincense and myrrhs, and people come here and they grow their own food and they come and purchase here from the local garden. So
incredible. Yes. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Speaking of grow your own, I think I want to if we can, I want to welcome Manifest Ra, and I know he's got a kind of a tight time schedule, so we want to honor that. but I want to bring him into the conversation. Give me one quick second, shift a couple things around here, but let me know if you can hear us manifest. Greetings
Absolutely.
to you. All right. Good to see you, brother.
Greetings. Greetings, Cosmic Brothers. How we doing?
We're doing good. I hope Bilal, I guess you shook Bilal there.
I know, right?
Oh, amazing though. Just to tap in with the three of us. This is like, this is powerful.
Indeed.
And so identify for us what region you're located in, manifest. Where are you currently?
I'm in we're outside of Washington, D.C. I would say that's the Northern Hemisphere and the U.S. And Turtle Island, correct?
Okay.
And so
shift here.
Absolutely. So it's a pleasure and an honor to be here amongst you brethren, cosmic brethren, on this auspicious day. And just to share some light, some insight, and to be a part of the grand awakening and ascension on the planet. So, the movement that has so many expressions and aspects to it. Everything is in movement. And so, from the time we come on the planet until the time we transition into the ancestral realm, it's constant movement. So, what movement are we aligned with is the question.
Exactly. That's an important question. What movement are we aligned with? There's a lot of movement, like you said. Everything's in motion. Yeah. What trajectory is that motion heading?
Absolutely.
And even before we tapped in, Bilal, you and I were talking about, one of the biggest things is navigation. How you're navigating. Having the map is one part of it, but then actually navigating, putting into action those coordinates on that mapping, that's that next level.
Exactly. And weaving through these different realities and different, multiverses, different portals dipping in and out. And though, like we were saying, it's mental navigation first in any case. So I think we're on the right path.
Absolutely. I want to take a moment and acknowledge as well the beauty of this, the three of us being here representing Atlanta, the DC area, LA. Like that's the triangulation that we've been actively working on for several years, a couple of decades now at this point. And so to see it really happening, Heal Humanity has a very strong presence in the Atlanta community, which is wonderful. That was one of the, the first things I learned about Heal Humanity is I saw a lot of folks that we knew when you and I were doing the movement in Atlanta, Bilal, that were actively involved in the Heal Humanity group on Facebook, that which Manifest has been stewarding for, I don't know how many years has that been, Manifest, like 20 years?
Absolutely. Not long enough. Exactly.
Good point.
But indeed, a great couple of decades now. So indeed, man, we're all over the planet. We're doing the light work. We're planetary activists, and so brother Bilal is out there in the ATL, raising the vibration there, consciousness there, and cool, you're out there in the LA area. And so it is truly a blessing to hold space in each one of these quadrants of the this area here that we are vibrating on. So I'm excited just about what we're doing and what's to come.
Absolutely. And also I'll say one of the ways we want to frame this offering of the movement going forward is to look at it through a lens of solutionaries and creatives, because we want to be very specific about what we're choosing to amplify, like you were saying about what movement, we're energizing. So we've really tuned into the notion that focusing on the creatives and on the solutionaries is our heart's intent. And so with that being said, I really want to take a moment and open the stage to you, Manifest, to share with us a little update on where things are going with Heal Humanity. We want to certainly encourage people to sign up to the mailing list. That's an ongoing invitation as we explore this collaboration together. But I'm going to shift screens so you can see the animated, guide of sorts for the various focus areas for Heal Humanity and all you're embarking on now. So yeah, feel free.
Indeed. It is truly an honor to be here amongst you, brethren, again. And so Heal Humanity, Planet Restoration, so many other divine entities that are truly doing the work on the planet. I'm just excited to collaborate with others like Brother Bilal and Brother McCool and so many others. Heal Humanity, 5D, Natural Immunity Community, Enlightened Earth, Grow Your Own, and the ULM, Universal Love Movement. And so I know Bilal, about a few minutes ago, he was speaking of growing food in a certain area in the ATL there. And so that is something that is really vital for our well-being as a human family, is to begin the process right here, right now, of taking a much more holistic and compassionate and engaged relationship with our own food source. And so growing your own is really teaching people from all walks of life, whether you live in a house or apartment or some type of a communal space, that wherever you are, there's some food that you can grow, whether it's hydroponic indoors or whether it's starting a garden outdoors or whether you're part of a community garden. We must, right here, right now, take responsibility for what we're eating. We should not be embracing a daily process where we have no idea what's on the other end of our fork there, what's on our plates and where it's coming from. We should have some clarity on what we're eating, not only the ingredients, but where the food source originates from. And so Grow Your Own, that's a major part of that. Enlightened Earth, it's about shifting away from what we don't want on the planet to the systems that we do want. What kind of education system do we want? Healthcare system, governance. We should be governing ourselves, but there should be still some form of how we govern in our own communities that goes beyond the 3D politics as we see it. So Enlightened Earth is representative of the systems, the fields of endeavor across the board. What does that look like? We're clear on what we don't want, but oftentimes we energize what we don't want because we harp over that, we talk about that without clarity of what we do want. So that's what Enlightened Earth represents. Natural Immunity Community, it's very important that we take responsibility for our own well-being. If anything over the past couple of years has taught us is that we should heal thyself as the first approach to our well-being. Now, there's certain natural healers and allopathic healers, and everything has its place, but we should never outsource how we show up. Our first approach should be heal thyself, meaning we should have an understanding of how breathing impacts our well-being, our thoughts, our emotions, our postures, our movement, since we're talking about the movement here, how we exercise, whether it's mind-body exercise or some form of artistic or martial arts expression. How does that express itself in our own body temple in terms of our well-being? Herbs, sunlight, vibrational medicine, the different forms of healing that come from energy medicine and mantra and sound healing. A couple of weeks ago, we had a sound advice event that many of us participated in. So there's various different, an infinite amount of healing modalities and ways of being in which we can heal ourselves naturally through our own God-given and Mother Nature experience. So Natural Immunity Community. 5D is simply shifting from the 3D paradigm, which is falling now, all of the matrix that is falling, to embracing fourth, which is 4D, which is synchronicity and natural time, and allowing that to help us elevate and ascend to 5D, which is about unity consciousness, one love, universal love. It's about bringing heaven on earth. And so there are a number of different ways in which we think, in which we align, in which we interact with ourselves and our families and our communities and planet Earth that resonates on that higher expanded consciousness of 5D. And then last, the ULM, which is about embracing the true nature of who we are as love consciousness and how that shows up in all the expressions on a daily basis. There's ways in which we should, when we wake up, what's the most loving way in which we wake up? What's the most loving way in which we commune with our own family members and plants and pets and the trees and the earth around us? When we shift from the fear frequency, which is aligned with 3D, and we align with the love frequency, 528, and we can truly shift the collective consciousness, and we can rapidly bring forth this more enlightened earth. So I'm very excited to work with Planet Restoration and so many other groups, and truly be the love that we want to see on the planet. So thank you so much, Brother McCoy, Bilal, for giving me a few minutes to share, and let's keep doing the work, brother.
Absolutely. And we made sure to put a link in the YouTube live for folks to sign up to the Heal Humanity email list. And we trust that you'll direct them from there, whatever their point of interest is. You have a lot of campaigns and focus areas you're offering. But I do appreciate how you looped that back around with what Bilal was saying earlier. I'd love to invite Bilal. Do you want to build on that at all, about the grow your own? And then also the frequency, because you're out there with your flute. Make sure you're not muted so we can hear you. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me? All right.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as a people, and as a paradigm shift, it's time to start to grow our own. It's time to start to get back to nature in as many ways as we can, get back to the natural frequencies and the natural ways, because we don't want to cling to a sinking ship, So it's great to get in the habit of having our own in our backyard, growing our own. And as of right now, there are so many angles of warfare going on against I these days. And one of the key ones is through what we're eating. They know they can spray us with this, that, and the other. If they know we're in the habit of picking up everything from the grocery stores, it's like, and even when it comes down to certain regulations with what they can tag organic legally, there's all types of trickery that goes on. So it's very important. And that's not even to speak of the times when I have had a garden in the backyard, like in the Gambia. We had a beautiful garden back there. I set up, and we had nebadai forest, moringa forest all around the house. Like, there's nothing like tasting food from your backyard, food that you grew with your own hands. It just tastes better. It has a better energy on it. And like for me, I like to be in the gardens and put particular vibes, like I'm here with the flute right now, putting some vibes on the garden, putting some vibes on the nature, and communing, This is some of the melody that just came through. I feel like it's co-creative as well, when you work with the earth, the earth can commune with you as you commune with the earth with these many different modalities. So this melody came through.
Yeah. Yes. That's that 528. That's that love frequency right there. You're talking about manifest.
Absolutely. And that was something I want to touch on what the brother Bilal spoke of just a moment ago, is that, when we think of the energy that we put into anything that we do, we can come into a room and change the quality of the nature of the energy in the room. And we experience that when someone comes in, maybe low vibrational, they're having a bad day, or just in a stagnant energy, which we go through those modes at some point in time in our lifespan. And then when that person comes into the room, they can bring the energy down. And maybe they're not doing it intentionally. That's just where they are at that particular time. They're going through something. And then we experience that person that walks through, and they're gregarious and they're uplifting and they're saying an affirmation, and they're blessing everyone, and they're bringing in maybe fruit and really just bringing in a breath of fresh air. They lift the energy up in the room. And so it's not just that person that's coming into the room. It's not just the people in the room. It's the room itself and everything within the room. And so when we think about the garden, we're eating food and we don't know the energy that's gone into the growth process, the culinary process, the preparation, the whether it's cooked or raw or what have you. We're just eating something, and then we kind of pray over it. And we ask to hope the universal flow that it mitigates whatever is not necessarily the best in there and that kind of thing. But it's kind of taking an outside-in approach to trying to bless food that we have no idea on the lifespan, the process, the energy that's gone into the seed, all the way up to the germination and the growth of it into farm to table. And so what Bilal just spoke on is really shifting that. It's becoming better stewards of the seeds that we're planting, metaphysically and physically, and what are we growing? We talk about movement. And so, Grow Your Own, the movement, these are not just initiatives or events. They're, how can I say, activation portals within our own being. Because once I begin to grow my own food, and I'm tasting and experiencing, as Brother Bilal said, something that I have maybe prayed and mindfully inserted, infused with loving energy. And then I'm talking to the tomatoes or the cucumbers or the radishes or the onions. And, the community does that as well. Imagine the life force that's going into the food that we're eating now. It's a completely different process than just haphazardly picking something up that you have no idea the quality of energy that's gone into it. So these ways seem very simple and maybe modest in what we're speaking of, but when enough people shift with this new way of being, and this becomes how many of us approach how we relate to food, so many other ways of being and how we show up is going to shift as well, because we eat about 2 or 3 times a day. And of course, when we were in our formative years, we heard what you are, what you eat, right?
Yeah.
So when we're eating mentally, spiritually, emotionally, we're absorbing so many frequencies within our being all the time. So we are what we're eating. But if our eating is one dimensional, we don't understand what we're spiritually absorbing, mentally, emotionally, energetically. And so, Grow Your Own is really a metaphor for so much more. But I envision it helping people shift their consciousness on how they show up and what are they growing, what seeds are they planting, and what are they growing, and what are they eating.
Absolutely. I think it's a beautiful segue actually into what we were going to highlight in this first hour. The Grow Your Own initiative and that sort of impulse is being felt here, obviously with you there out there in Maryland and DC. And then halfway across the world, we have had the honor of developing a relationship with a community in Lalibela, Ethiopia. And so farmers out there locally are beginning to recognize the impacts of using, for example, fertilizers that have been imported from Europe because of the apparent cost benefits, right? They're learning and realizing that some of the compromises that have been made by using these imported fertilizers that are full of chemicals and pesticides have been obviously deteriorating the health of their soil. And Ethiopia is already largely an arid area. I mean, it's very bountiful with life. But as our friend Tarek Ba, you'll hear him in a moment, I wanted to ask if you can hang on for 10 minutes and hear this wonderful interview, because this is in his own words, just also sharing what they're up to there locally to grow their own. As obviously they've been doing this for millennia in Ethiopia. They've been growing their own. And at the same time, we have to understand that the global scope of these global national companies that are promoting a myriad of what they call or market to be solutions, right, are actually having incredibly dire and harmful impacts on the entire ecosystem. Okay. So this is why our good friend, who you'll hear about momentarily, is leading a campaign to educate and empower the local farmers to begin to literally grow their own without all these other interferences and influences, and find a new path forward in doing that, particularly in such a place as Lalibela, Ethiopia, which has so many layers of significance. But we're really honored as Planet Restoration and Foundation for Noospheric Consciousness to be working with this community in an effort to help raise awareness and raise some money and some support for what they're doing. Things we take for granted here in the West, for example, like the cost of a daily cup of coffee and things like this, we might just frivolously spend. We really want to step back and realize how far even those small, what we consider, insignificant expenditures, how those small contributions could be directed toward really helping uplift this entire community. And this is one of the reasons why we're getting involved with them. And we're really happy to debut this on the movement and really present this in a meaningful way to the world for the first time. We're officially now working directly with the Bethan Amba community. And so I'm going to go ahead and share that video if you're good with that, and you'll get a chance to hear it. And we'll come back and talk a little bit more about that. Okay? Thank you, Manifest. Appreciate you being here.
Sure.
My name is Tarak Bamarsha, born in Lalibela, raised in Lalibela. I'm a tourist guide and also working with the community for community-based tourism. But also we are working with Trees for Our Lives to distribute seedlings for the community, ecos, environment to the foresteries. There are 5 people working with me. One is a supervisor, and the others are working with us, collecting all the seeds and watering the field. But also our goal, our vision, not only working on Trees for Our Lives, but also we need to create something important for the people. For example, they are not farming sustainable. So especially all the fertilizer that they are imported from Europe, it is chemical fertilizer, but they can use their own fertilizer by doing composts and different methods. So we will encourage these farmers, but also using local organic fertilizer, because everything is their hand, but they don't have the technology and the know-how. Also, they don't have sustainable power, at home. So they can use biogas for cooking and solar, and also small wind farming, wind, because you can see all this mountain, it is a bit of dry, but we have abundance of land, but still we don't have a good management of water, and they don't have land use policies in the country. So Trees for Our Lives are working for protection of environment.
Fantastic. I really want to commend you for what you're doing, and you're obviously helping to bring solutions to the farmers there where they haven't necessarily had that support or that perspective. So I really want to commend you for that. And to give a sense of what people can do to support this, how does that work in your case? What is it that you're looking to actually acquire for the farmers and to support them there on the ground?
Yeah, especially people who live in the West, they have technologies, For example, giving for the farmers like solar water pump and a small drip irrigation to use for water management, and also giving them a small solar light. They can use it at home. They can support not only financially, but also they can come to visit Lalibela on the way. They can work with the farmer. They can support them technically, financially, what they can, not only for money, you know. They can support them what they can do, because people in the West, they have these technologies, especially here in Ethiopia. We have around 1,000 millimeter rainfall annually. But if you look in Israel, they have 300 milliliter annual rainfall. So they use the water wisely, management, you know. So they can teach the farmers how they can use, how can manage using the water, the watering and planting. So they can support only, not only financially, so also technically, and also they come, when they come, they can come on the ground, work with the people, even people like, even for teachers, they can come teach at a school, like a week, like 3 weeks, you know. They can share their experiences. And the people who are knowing for agriculture, they can come and work with the farmer.
Amazing.
And also people who are agronomists, like who are, they can come and work with even in the government office, or they can work with the local community to improve their lives.
Right on.
That is the main idea and the main vision to work.
Sounds like a great effort to bring these connections together. As you're saying, bring some of the Western technology or the know-how and put that to great use and in alignment there, right there, in benefit to the community. Absolutely. And building these bridges together. And I know that's one of the things that drew me to what you're up to, your story with the Bethan Amba Eco Village, right there in your community and supporting these farmers. I wanted to ask, if you don't mind, could we see, can you show us the environment there, the beauty of the area right there with your phone, if you don't mind?
Yes.
Thank you so
I can
much.
show you. Look, the other side too. You see?
Wow. 360 degrees.
Yes. It is gorgeous.
It is absolutely gorgeous. I feel it. I feel it.
You can see people are living on the top of the mountain, on the top, on the flat. 4,100, 190 meter above sea level. Still, there are people who live up there.
That's just wonderful to see. I look forward to experiencing it one day in person as well. As you say, people are encouraged to come there and to visit, come to Lalibela. I mean, Lalibela is one of the most significant locations on the planet. I really feel that. And maybe you can also share a little bit about Lalibela, being that you're from Lalibela, born and raised. Tell me a little bit about your family there and the connection with Lalibela.
Oh, my grandfather and my father, all my cousins, my uncle used to work in the churches. They were a priest. Amba priesthood family. So Lalibela, almost 99% of the people are Ethiopian Orthodox followers.
Yes.
99% of the people. And Lalibela is almost 900 years old churches, which is carved out of a single rock. It's one of the UNESCO heritage sites.
Amazing.
It is registered. And also, it is one of the pilgrimage destination for the Ethiopian Orthodox Church people traveling. Most of the people are on foot. And most nowadays, some people are they flew by plane and by car, but most of the people they do pilgrimage, especially during the Ethiopian Christmas.
Right. Yes, and we have just obviously passed through that holy season just recently.
Yeah. Recently, yeah.
Very recently, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But still, it is a living heritage, you know.
Absolutely.
I will send you a video footage.
Please.
Some of the churches.
Would love to receive that. Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
You know, to come to Lalibela, not only for visiting, it is also blessing.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I understand. I know that our mutual friend, Audrey Scott Williams, came there to visit several years ago when you met her.
Yes.
And she came to Lalibela on pilgrimage herself for that blessing. Yeah. And I know
for the
blessing. Absolutely.
Yeah, we were walking like 30 minutes high up to the mountain to visit a monastery inside the cave.
I understand that's a very special place.
Yes.
Very high
up. It is a very special place.
Very
and
special
very
place.
Spiritual. And people living in harmony. You know, so you have to encourage the people to come to visit Lalibela, and they can have visiting the churches, blessing the churches,
right?
But also they can support the community.
That's right. Be a blessing, receive a blessing.
Yes, receiving blessing.
And be a blessing.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, I just wanted to debut that little video clip we had there. It's a beautiful moment for us, making this significant, meaningful relationship with our brother Tarek Ba Mersha, who you just heard from right there in Lalibela, Ethiopia. So that's an exclusive interview, presenting that to the world. And really the first sister relationship that PR 1328 is developing to be able to help raise awareness, increase perhaps even visitors that would want to come to Lalibela, as he said, to come there and receive a real blessing, and also learn more together about this regenerative future that I think we're all mutually realizing together. So they're giving us a wonderful, I think, example of what it looks like to grow your own and also wake up from the significant negative impacts that may be experienced when we continue to sort of operate with these fertilizers or that kind of approach. And so much respect to our brother Tarek Ba and his entire community out there in Ethiopia. I'd love to hear any feedback you guys have, anything that inspired in you.
Wow, it's truly inspiring to see people with boots on the ground, pun intended, to actually, people who are getting their hands dirty in a very regenerative and inspiring way. And, they're being the change they want to see, they're the example of what growing your own looks like. And so I'm excited, and it's no coincidence it's in the motherland, so to speak.
Right.
So we all need to return to Mother Nature, Mother Earth.
Turn to Mama.
The motherland, right where we are.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
So it's inspiring, and So the question, I guess, is what other communities can be inspired by their work,
right,
around the world. It becomes a rippling effect where other folks like, hey, let's do something like that. Let's take ownership of, I guess, from a enlightened perspective of the land in which we have. Not trying to own it, but let's be responsible with it, so to speak, right where we are. And so I'm excited about that, examples like that, and I'm sure they'll have more interviews to share about the developments that are happening there in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah, we plan to keep up with them. Go ahead, B.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention how, like you're saying, boots on the ground, to see people doing the work. And like for me, it's been frustrating to see, because I lived in the Gambia for some years, and I saw how a lot of the key vegetables, a lot of the key produce, they ship in from somewhere else, and it's just frustrating, So to get involved in, what's going on continental and, abroad and here, both. And wherever it's happening, to support it and to really be a part of the change, rather than just a spectator in it, and support it so that it becomes more of a thing, And even last time I was in the Gambia, I saw how, like, the Asians are taking over, like they're moving in fast. Whilst us over here, debating, oh no, we're just Americans, we're not Africans, or this. No, we all have a common origin, and we're all family. It's about finding the likeness. Of course, it's about tracing our roots and reclaiming all of our greatness, though that's not to discount or leave out any part of the body. We need to be conscious of both sides at the same time right away, because the part of the body we're not looking at, there's going to be things coming in and take that over, quickly. And it's not like they're taking it over with our best interest in mind. They're building gas stations. They're going to put up the refineries that you see in Los Angeles, and you're seeing more and more out here in Atlanta. And, they're thinking industrialization. They don't have necessarily our best intent in mind. So with this whole woke thing that we supposedly have as awakening American indigenous, we want to get involved, wherever it's seen, wherever the movement is happening. We want to be a part of it and support it. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that, it's a beautiful thing to see and a beautiful thing to support.
Ashe. And speaking of supporting that, I want to encourage folks to go to pr1328.com website. And if you go down to the section called Community, you will see the direct link right there, PR Community. Click the video there as well. We have a beautiful testimony from Audrey Scott Williams. As you heard us mention her, she's the link that has been the person that introduced us to Terekba and the community, the Bethan Amba. You also heard Terekba mention that his family is of the Amba priesthood. Those are the priests of the traditional Ethiopian Orthodox Church. So these are very significant, very ancient roots in that land for a very, very long time. So if you scroll a little bit down further, you'll see a nice little explanation behind that, and then you can see the little donate button there. We certainly encourage you to click the donate button. that you can be taken to the donate page like such. And we encourage you to give what you can in support of this initiative. So your support is definitely greatly appreciated very, very much. And we'll be definitely following up with our friends there in the near future with more updates and other exciting news and information. At some point, I definitely plan to physically be there and experience that.
Me too.
Sacred place in person, and then to especially have, some true relatives there to welcome us in a good way makes all the difference in the world. And so I know that just by extending ourselves and helping the rising tide lifting all boats kind of energy is a very exciting thing for us. So again, we encourage people to visit pr1328.com and learn more. Go ahead, B.
I have one more quick story. One of my great elders that have passed away since, named Dr. Ando. He was spiritually called to go to Ethiopia, to the highlands, and he met there a prophet. His name was Prophet Kasa, and this prophet led Dr. Ando to a spiritual stream that, not everyone can see. Like it though it was an actual stream, and he said it was the living waters, and supposedly it's like a stream from Eden, and like, one of those mystical streams. Though he allowed Dr. Ando to take some of the living waters, and he directed him to come to the urban areas, and this is where we first met him. He came to Atlanta. He was doing lectures, throughout urban areas, as well as LA, few key spots. And he was directed to come to the urban areas and share the living waters and share the story of Prophet Kasa and everything that happened. So that's just to say, on a spiritual level, there's a high connection. It's, though it seems like a far distance spiritually, they have us in mind as well. Because we're family. And when you hear the call, I guess is the main thing. If you hear that spirit call, then it may be more than just a journey, as far as like a vacation. It may be a spiritual calling for you, a pilgrimage of sorts, like the brethren was saying. Yes. A spiritual journey. So that's just to say, we're connected, and they're connected to us spiritually. They have us in mind, as well. So just, I had to mention that, Yeah,
it's huge. That is huge. And as with the movement, we also want to highlight a couple of other things happening around our community. So as we've highlighted, Heal Humanity, and we will continue to do that. And keeping with the schedule of your upcoming events, we also have a very special commemorative event that Manifest and I are both directly involved with our esteemed elder, Mama Ayo Handy Kendi. And she is the founder of the African American Holiday Association and the founder of the nationally known Black Love Day, the official African American holiday called Black Love Day. Since 1993, this has been nationally observed every February 13th as a harmonious alternative to what can sometimes otherwise be violent in the Valentine's holiday. And so one of the intentions of actually regarding Black Love Day was to help amplify and uplift the Black community. And in 1993, when she got the inspiration, this was also very much during the height of the crack cocaine epidemic, particularly in Washington, D.C. It hit Washington, D.C. community extremely, extremely hard. Back then, that was also regarded as Chocolate City, which we can't say it's regarded, at least not by numbers, as Chocolate City in the way it once was. But obviously, with this large concentration of Black excellence, as Washington, D.C. is, this was a very important offering that Mama Io was inspired by the divine to put out as a call, as you were saying, Bilal, to all who can hear the call to be and express your Black love every day of the year. So the idea now, it's 30th anniversary. Let's wrap our head around that now. For 30 years, Black Love Day has been observed and celebrated worldwide. It's a national holiday, but it's also acknowledged around the planet. If you actually go in and Google the words Black Love Day, the first thing that'll come up is the acknowledgement of February 13th, known as Black Love Day in the United States. So it is officially official, and it has been for a very long time. And so we want to bring awareness to this. World Bridge Media is going to be collaborating with IO. We've already been collaborating to help do the online Black Virtual 3-day summit. It's the 3rd annual Black Love Virtual Summit. And that also includes on Black Love Day, what's called the official Black Love Relationship Ceremony. Now, what's powerful about this, and I just got the memo on this today from Mama Io, is we'll be welcoming none other than Iyanla Vanzant, of all people, who's going to actually come in and lead the prayer and the ceremony on Black Love Day, Monday, February 13th. So that's remarkable news. And obviously, she has quite a high profile, Miss Iyanla Vanzant. And those of us from the Washington, D.C. community would remember Intervisions, which was the former location she had there right on the Silver Spring, D.C. border many, many years ago. I remember Ivy Hilton being a part of that community many years ago. And a lot of the, as I said, the Black excellence from the Washington, D.C. community, the spiritual community, were very much involved in Iyanla's Intervisions space. They had a lot of great programs. So it's going to be wonderful to see her here on this 30th anniversary celebrating Black Love Day worldwide. So we want to encourage folks to go check the links in the replay here on YouTube. Ishel is helping us by posting some links where people can go and register on the Eventbrite to sign up for their participation. It's going to be amazing. Also, our friend Mamuna Youssef is a featured performer and also leading a workshop on Sunday, February 12th, the day before Black Love Day. Baba Ras D, who we all know and love very much, will be also performing on a concert on Saturday evening, February 11th. So as you can tell, there's a 3-day virtual summit with a lot of activity, 9 hours each day, believe it or not. And in any case, we're excited. And this is the only movement episode before Black Love Day. So we wanted to make sure to mention that today on this episode, as we're only doing this once a month currently. So, but that being said, I just wanted to acknowledge Mama Io and send her a special shout out and make sure that people do go look up AHA, African American Holiday Association, on Facebook. Follow the new Facebook page. There's only about a handful of folks following it right now because we've just released it. But I imagine by the over the next couple of weeks, we'll see a cascade of folks jumping in there to participate as well. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I know we're going to near the second hour here. We're already in the second hour, kind of full swing with this today. I want to thank you, Manifest, for hanging in here with us. I know you have some things happening as well, but just wanted to make sure we're touching all these fine points just to share this with folks. And anybody out there listening in, yeah, please.
Can I, just for a second, yeah. Sure. And Black Love, just to be clear, it doesn't exclude anyone, but it just brings awareness to people who too often have been marginalized around the world, not just in the United States, what's considered the United States, but around the world. And anytime a group of people can have love for themselves, that obviously at some point in time will expand over to love for the entire human family. So, just to clarify, Black love is, and it's even more important now in light of some things that have happened over the past few days that we're all familiar with. I believe in Memphis, Tennessee, some actions that went beyond words that is truly were truly inhumane. It's just hard to even comment on what we're hearing there. And so the need for people to love one another across the planet, particularly those who align or identify themselves as being Black or African, who have been on the opposite end of oppression. We all have in this 3D paradigm, but we definitely want to speak to Black love, and it's even more important in response to what we heard about just a few days ago in Memphis, Tennessee. And so it's a time for everyone to express love to themselves, Black people in particular. And I'm excited about just how we can shift. We can be alchemists, if you will, transmute scenarios that are unpleasant, inhumane, and we can use this as a call to action, a call to activation, if you will. So I just want to share that. I'm excited about working with you, Brother Makua, as well. I don't know which day I'm going to be on with the Sage Men, but we'll figure that out. I'm excited. And Brother Bilal and Brother Makua, you all continue to do the great work. I'm part of Planet Restoration as well, to heal humanity and the collaboration that we do. So looking forward to more work, more enlightened work.
More in mutual enlightened work, our collective work and responsibility. We absolutely appreciate love you manifest for everything you're doing, all that you anchor in the community as well. It's absolutely an honor. And the continuity, I think, is so important. The fact that we're all carrying on, as long as we have breath in these bodies and a purpose on our heart and mind, I know that we'll continue to do what we can to serve this higher harmony that we're all striving for. And thank you for pointing out what has been transpiring the past few days. I know that if anybody happens to tap into mainstream media, obviously they are, highlighting some of these stories, and I have to say it's obviously not exemplifying the best of us. We speak about that Black excellence. This is the complete antithesis of that. And it's a very fine line in that, because this is also, I think, in some cases being used as a look. Here's an example of, how unloving this race of people seems to be towards each other. And so there's such a fine line there as we navigate this narrative that's going to be spun from this very, very unfortunate, despicable incident, but that doesn't need to deteriorate into something it's not. So it's also a very fine line there, because, when you give mainstream media the cannon fodder, they will absolutely use it to blast you. And so this is an example of that as well, I think, where we want to be very balanced and mindful, because emotions are very high right now. And it's very easy. We get beside ourselves and get triggered by these charges of energy, that we are prone to feel and navigate and experience. So I just want to make that something as well, just to be conscious of, that we really lean into the healing and the opportunity that this unfortunate incident brings front and center for us as a world culture, not just to single out Black America as an example, but to really understand that there are multiple layers of why things spiral to such a degree as they have in that unfortunate incident in Memphis. And so I just want to say that to say, obviously, we need to keep our eyes and ears, open to where that may take us, while also ensuring that we're guiding a narrative, a new narrative, not allowing this unfortunate vicious cycle loop to continue to play. Because it certainly does not represent who we are. And I think anybody who knows that gets that. I would like also just to mention what you said, that Black Love Day is absolutely something that all people are invited to acknowledge and celebrate. In particular, as Mama Ayo says, so-called white people are invited to participate through exhibiting love in action and examining their attitudes and behaviors towards Black people in particular. And I think it's important to emphasize that, because we do understand that there are a lot of blind spots as it relates for people. Even in this evolving edge, people are wanting to learn, how can I be a better ally? How can I grow? And how can I curb maybe unconscious behaviors that I've exhibited? Or how can I become more aware? So that invitation is absolutely there for everybody to tap in and celebrate their Black love. Go ahead, V.
Yeah, and I would invite also, us as, the Americans on this side, as they call African Americans, to contemplate like getting beyond that divide of Africans. It doesn't have to be versus, the indigenous American or the African American, like to think about that oneness and ways we can bridge that divide, so it goes all the way from, just the oneness. It brings it back to the oneness is the point, and that common origin of us all, you know. Um, yeah, yeah. And when it comes to Black love, being someone who has children, who has been engaged in a Black love marriage and all of that, I do see that it's an epidemic to some degree, So what we can do, like from what I see with a lot of these tragedies and things that are coming up, is like it's like Shaitan getting on our face and saying like, well, what are you gonna do about it? And what we can do about it is start from within our circle, start from within our network, to exhibit that Black love, to in small ways, starting. So yeah, I give thanks for the build. I give thanks for the sharing. Yes.
Likewise. I tell you what, I think that's a perfect segue, actually, Bilal, because I know part of what we wanted to do today was also kind of take a little time to do a little retrospect on the actual vibe and frequency of the movement events. And I have a special clip, a throwback clip, very short one, featuring your brother Taj. I know he's got a birthday party celebration of the family today, so he couldn't be on the call, but we'll bring him forward in a future episode. But just to give people a little background, the 1997 to 2007 movement was something that was primarily based in DC. Then around 2004, 2005, we initiated the movement, or an iteration initially called the Womb Room, that took place in Atlanta at a place called Javaology, on the same block where Dr. King and Coretta Scott King are laid to rest. So it's a very important vortex right there. And the former coffee shop called Javaology was very centric, I think, at the just after the new millennium, in providing us with a space where we could gather in the frequency of time is art. Time is art, life is art sort of frequency. And so then we went from Javaology to another place called Othello, that eventually became another venue where we had live music and the whole thing. It was just such a great outpouring of creative expression and a real uplift for the whole community. So I wanted to just go ahead and show some cool throwback clips from that space, just to give people a little flavor, because if you were there, you would certainly remember the resonance. But if this is your first time, because we know we have people tapping in from all over the world now that we're on a digital format, this is a little insight, a little lens into some of the qualitative energy of the movement. It was such a very highly spiritual experience. I've had many people describe to me their times that the movement was like their form of going to church or having your spiritual community.
And it's a taste of what's to come in the future of the movement as well. In our respective locations, we have things developing and spinning off rapidly. So we will keep you all abreast on all of that.
Beautifully so. Yeah, so without further ado, I think I'm going to go ahead and jump over to a couple of clips. And Manifest, I understand if you got to go, we certainly appreciate your time and energy. You're welcome to stay the whole time as well if spirit moves you. But otherwise, we'll certainly be following up with you, encouraging people to tap into the Heal Humanity email sign up. Thank you to Ishel, who's holding it down for us on the social platforms, as she always does. Really, really fantastic. Eagle eye to detail as we are on this Galactic Eagle Day too. So big love to her. And everybody tuning in out there in the world, we thank you for tuning in and staying this long with us, and continue to spread the word and spread the love. Absolutely. And with that said, we'll go to this clip. One love.
What you think you manifest, make your life divine. Your time, cause you know you're truly blessed. You shouldn't settle for the best, yeah. Make your life divine. Right away.
I think this is the official movement song. And this music, y'all, so special and powerful. It's really like medicine, therapy. The power of love. That's right. And this stuff really works, y'all. This music, it works, you know? For me personally, I've had a challenging day, you know? I've had some things come up in my day that's challenged me. And so really, being up here on stage is really therapy for myself, you know? So we gonna get into it, y'all. Yeah, y'all dig these words now, hey. If you feel it, go ahead and sing along.
Every day gotta work, there's so much to do. Seems there's not enough time for me and you. In the struggle of life, the days pass so fast. But tell me, what can I do to make each moment last? I'm gonna take some time each day and think about love. I'm gonna take some time in my life and think about us. I'm gonna take some time each day and open my heart. I'm gonna take some time in my life, cause time is hard. As I create my life, I gotta stay aware that my body and mind need some love and care. Every morning and night, I set aside a space to align with divine. Pray and meditate. I'm gonna take some time each day and think about love. I'm gonna take some time in my life and think about us. I'm gonna take some time each day and open my heart. I'm gonna take some time in my life, cause time is hard. Come on, hands clap. Ooh, whoa, ooh, whoa. Yeah, yeah. Come on. Ooh, whoa, ooh, whoa. So much love. Ooh, whoa, ooh, whoa. Yeah, yeah.
'cause it's so precious and rare. Taking time each day for the ones we love. It's the laughter and joy that's gotta lift it up. I'm gonna take some time each day and think about love. I'm gonna take some time in my life and think about us. I'm gonna take some time each day and open my heart. I'm gonna take some time in my life 'cause time is hard. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. So much love. One more time, y'all. I want to hear everybody singing. Come on. I'm gonna take some time each day and think about love. Come on. I'm gonna take some time in my life and think about us. Think about us. I'm gonna take some time each day and open my heart. I'm gonna take some time in my life 'cause time is up. I'm gonna take some time in my life and think about us. I'm gonna take some time each day and open my heart. I'm gonna take some time in my life 'cause time is up. Anybody who wants to come up and join us?
All right. Thank you all for taking the time to allow me to play that movement retrospect footage from, I guess it was 2005, for the first little clip at Bar None in Washington, D.C., when Taj and Bilal came from Atlanta to D.C. in 2005, where they performed actually at Bar None for the first time. And they were in the D.C. area for then what was the Millions More movement, commemorating the 1995 Million Man March. So that was 10 years later in 2005. And then you saw the second clip from Othello, which was 2009, there in the Atlanta community. So we had a little clip from DC from the movement and a nice little clip there as well from Atlanta from Othello. And again, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to tap in with us today on the movement and enjoying this organic process of creativity that we're going to explore together. Certainly, one of the fundamental bases for providing this is to encourage people to tap into the frequency of natural time. And for that point, we want to also encourage folks to visit our petition online, where they can actually go and basically add their signature to the Calendar Referendum 2028 and Universal Declaration of World Peace, or Declaration of Universal World Peace, rather. But certainly we invite you to go there and do that. We'll put links in the chat thread as well, a shortened bit.ly link for you to go to Calendar Referendum 2028. And again, this is something we're helping to promote to raise more awareness around the world as we raise a critical mass of humans from all over the planet who make the conscious choice to deconstruct the Gregorian calendar out of their minds, and in its place, replace it with the harmonic standard of 13 months, 28 days. There's a lot of depth to why this is a solution and why this is something we are absolutely committed to encouraging. And we will explore more of that in future broadcasts and episodes here on The Movement, brought to you by Planet Restoration, in collaboration with Heal Humanity and the Harmonic Factor. With that said, I think we're probably going to wrap it up here momentarily, but not before I first let me check out what these images are. We wanted to help make a couple of other things conscious and to understand that we're navigating a longer process here. You know, obviously we're doing a retrospect on the movement event that began in 1997. But when we look back on the timeline 10 years before then, we encounter something called the harmonic convergence. Now, this was the completion of a particular prophecy cycle that took place, and we can get into the details as we do more of this sharing with you. But suffice it to say, August 16th and 17th, 1987 signaled something called the harmonic convergence. It was preceded that year, though, by a couple of significant events, and one is what we consider the ground zero of the new time, and that day is June 23rd, 1987. Now, something interesting to point out is that just a couple of days ago, we crossed a very important milestone on the day-to-day count. We crossed 13,000 days since June 23rd, 1987. And for those who are in tune with the numbers, the significance of the numbers and the count, 13,000 is thus half of 26,000. And 26,000 is half of 52,000. You can kind of get a sense for how the numbers fractalize, or how they're fractals of each other, fractions of each other. But this 13,000 day marker a couple of days ago is a very significant milestone that for those of us who have been tracking natural time, shout out to my good brother Ruben Ginas, who initiated the Harmonic Convergence 2028 Facebook page. There's another milestone there that was initiated in the year 2013 on the birth anniversary of Jose Arguelles, Valum Votan, January 24th. So we just passed the 10-year celebration of that resource online on Facebook. And thank you, Ruben, for shepherding that, stewarding that all these years. Another significant marker to point to is what's referred to by Richard Rudd and the Gene Keys as the melodic resonance. Now, this took place when we reached that threshold date in the year 2012, December 21st, 2012, which, of course, we have just passed the 10-year marker of that. We did the light activation in Washington, not in Washington, but with our family in Washington, D.C. and all around the world, celebrating Manifest Ra's 52nd birthday, which was 12/12/2022. So that was some 10 years after the melodic resonance window. There's a lot that's been happening on these timelines. And one future timeline we're keeping our eyes on, which you'll hear us speak more to in the coming episodes here and throughout all of our social media platforms and community, is something called the Rhythmic Symphony that occurs in the year 2027. This is something we absolutely have to look forward to in the coming years. Myself, Ishel, our brother Ruben, our good friend Alicia, and another young woman named Katja had a recent conversation on the Harmonic Convergence 2028 page presented by the Harmonic Factor, where we looked at something called the Biogenetic New Year. And the Biogenetic New Year is related as well to the Human Design Calendar, the Pulse Calendar, the Rave Calendar. There are many names, but the significance of this is that it is tracking evolutionary waves among not only the planet, but also humanity. And so as we approach this 2027 marker, this is a very significant one. This will be 40 years after the Harmonic Convergence that initiated quite a lot of this. And again, that was 1987. So now at the 40-year mark in 2027, I would suffice it to say that we're going to be living in a significantly different world. And I think these changes are going to take full effect in ways that we can't yet really imagine. I know there's a lot of narrative out there about the technology and the fact that things are moving toward a greater sense of singularity, where people are inclined to take some of these technologies directly into their body in a variety of ways that might not necessarily be so recommended ultimately. But of course, this is the free will zone, and everybody has to navigate their own choices. So we hold no judgment for that. We're here to observe and participate as well. But as we approach this 2027 window, a lot more will be revealed. And so I think it suffices just to leave it there. But definitely I wanted to acknowledge these timeline markers. And for people who want more information on getting tuned in with natural time, we invite you to visit the website 13months28days.info, where you will experience a lot of other relevant information about calendar change and ways in which you can utilize the solutions and the tools that we do have available to us for your benefit, for the benefit of your family, for the benefit of the community. It's also the idea, that states when one of us is healed, all of us are healed. So we provide these tools as a method through which we can return more fully to our complete selves. I mean, a lot of what we've been made to navigate out here in the world has deteriorated us from that. So we want to do whatever we can to help people make a healthy shift in consciousness. And, with that in mind, this is why we present images such as this, just to give you a sense of the difference we're talking about here. When you compare the Gregorian calendar and its frequency structure with the 13 moon calendar, which is beautiful and simple and elegant, there really is no comparison. And when you begin to actually tap into the natural time calendar as your primary reference, you really begin to see the world of synchronicity jump out at you. And every day, literally, no joke, becomes a magical experience utilizing the lens of synchronicity. So it's one of the reasons why we are encouraging this shift so very, very much. And you can begin to get a sense of what you're shifting from when you shift from harm to harmony as well. So continue to join us here at the movement, brought to you by Planet Restoration, PR 1328, and our allies at Heal Humanity and the Harmonic Factor, as we will continue to explore more about what this time shift literally means and what it invites us all to, because there are a lot of tools available. And we have many, many allies around the world who, over the past nearly 40 years, have been shifting their own consciousness into this natural time approach. So with that said, just want to thank everybody out there who has tapped in with us today for the broadcast. Thank you so much. It's been a true pleasure to be able to introduce you to Tarek Bey, our ally in Lalibela, Ethiopia, as well as get a sense from our dear brother Manifest Ra about what's happening with Heal Humanity. And then that organic, I love it, the grow your own conversation, that was really sparked by Bilal when he tapped in and was, really, really tuning in, intuiting sort of what is most important. And just by him tapping in from that beautiful park and preserve, hopefully we have the links for that venue as well. We can share with the family out there. But we invite you to come visit us on our social platforms at Planet Restoration YouTube channel, as well as our sister channel at The Harmonic Factor on YouTube. And find us on Facebook, where we can be found at Planet Restoration on Facebook, as well as by Harmonic Convergence 2028 on Facebook, and finally the Heal Humanity group on Facebook. So we encourage you as well to stay tapped in and get informed about the upcoming 30th Black Love Day festivities and ceremonies and activities happening that World Bridge Media is proud to be a collaborator and supporter of. So watch out for us on your local digital platform as far as that's concerned. And if you can, please go ahead and look up African American Holiday Association Facebook page on Facebook, obviously, and go ahead and like that page for updates and to stay connected to what's happening. The next episode is going to be next moon, the galactic moon, the 8th moon, on day 19. And that correlates with the Gregorian date, February 25th. So thank you to everybody out here. I'm going to give a special shout out to Ishel, who's been helping us in the background here. As always, tremendously a blessing, a helpful blessing. And, we're just happy to be able to bring this information, this energy, this inspiration to you, wherever you may be. And if you are interested in dropping in and offering a prayer or a performance that's part of the digital OM or open mic or open mind, we want to encourage you to do that. And so we'll put a link there as well in the chat and the platforms where you can upload to a Google form. You can pre-register by uploading your performance, and we'll be sure to share that on a future broadcast as an offering that you're contributing to this global movement. So, we truly appreciate love you tapping in, being present with us. And with that said, I'm going to find one little slide here. Let's see how we're doing it here. And yeah, with that said, we just want to again give a shout out to all our relatives out there. And we look forward to bringing you more of this high resonance energy going forward. And yeah, just really a true honor being here with you wherever you may be. Be sure to like and subscribe on all our platforms, and also visit our link tree. That's another way to keep it simple. You can find us on linktr.ee/PR1328. You'll find all of our social handles there where you can keep up with us, and we look forward to staying in touch with you. All right. Thank you for tuning into the movement today. With that said, we wish you love. We extend our gratitude to you, and we say, in Lakesh, one love.